Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of The Morning Drive. I'm your host, Danielle Fernandez, and today with me in my car is John Mark Stouty. He is the president and CEO of Riverside Resources, RRI. John Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be in the car.
All right, let's go for a little drive down Lakeshore, shall we?
Awesome.
Okay, multitasking. Okay, so now let's jump right in, shall we? There are lots of opportunities in the resource mining sector, and investors have some options. So why would they choose Riverside?
I think first off is that we definitely are focused on value creation. So Riverside, for example, right now is looking to find ways that we can do partnerships with people, and we have major companies like BHP, major partners over time. Secondly, to pick on us, that we focus on precious metals like gold and other things like that. And I think the third thing is we know what we're doing. We've been in the business for 13 years. Exactly. I have a PhD. We focused on this. The whole team is technically quite competent. We've been able to operate very effectively. We've been able to keep a tight share structure. And we've been going for 13 years.
Okay. So tell me a bit more about that partnership with BHP. Why did they choose Riverside?
I think the first thing is that I worked there. They know that I could do it. Secondly is we're experts in Mexico. We know Mexico very well. I've worked there for many years. I think the third thing is that we're operationally in Mexico. We have been the exploration partners for Cliffs, Kinross, Antofagasta, Hochschild Mining. All of those have actually already done their due diligence for us as shareholders, for investors. We've ongoingly, for 13 years, had majors companies funding our generative work. We've kept a royalty through all of that as Riverside.
That's incredible.
It's a really good business.
Now, you've had a couple of news releases lately, including spinning out a property that's paying a share dividend to investors, which I know is not super commonplace. So can you speak a little bit to that?
You bet. You know, when you run a prospect generator company, the thing that you develop is good projects, but how do you unlock the value?
Right.
And we are so lucky we were able to work over time. It took me 2 years to get Alberto Orozco, a fabulous exploration and mineral development person. He was involved in pediment gold. He was involved in linear gold. He really knows well mineral projects in Mexico. He's the president of the Sonoran Mining Operators, so he knows operations. He was in Argonaut Gold looking for a better growth opportunity, something else, so he joined Riverside. So with him leading it, and with us owning a very good project, the Peñoles project in Riverside, it's a hand in glove. It's a perfect fit. And now what we do is we want that to go forward. But what if for Riverside, how do we make this work? A great way is through a plan of arrangement. No dilution to us as Riverside shareholders. We don't do a shell. We actually dividend to the shareholders.
Yeah, I like that.
The project.
As an investor, I like the sounds of this.
And it's good.
Yeah.
And it's just straight. I'm a shareholder. I have never sold a share. I founded the company. I've put in money in every financing. I've bought money in the market. I'll win when we all win.
Okay,
this
so
is a win.
Forgive me if you already said this because I am trying to focus on driving through snow squalls right now, but what's the ratio that the share dividend's paying out to investors?
It's not exactly, it's roughly 3-1
Okay.
for simple terms.
Okay.
So basically, and that's done from a valuation standpoint. Basically, we came up with a valuation on the asset level, and we're doing a financial raise now on top of that. So we'll actually be able to spin this out with cash, but for the shareholders, for every 3 shares of Riverside, 1 shareholder of Capitan Mining. It's a really great deal.
Cool.
Yeah.
And as we drive through a little bit snowy Toronto, although I do love the city, fantastic province of Ontario, yours to discover. You guys have a property here. Can you speak on that?
We actually have a portfolio of 3 properties, and the thing that we have is we have a team. It's all about people. And we have a great person, our Vice President of Exploration, Freeman Smith, who's worked and lived in this region and really knows the Geraldton Belt, around Thunder Bay, kind of around instead of, around Lake Superior. There we are, a great location there on the project. And what we really like about the project that we're on is that gold near the surface, near old mines, and great infrastructure. It's right on the Trans-Canada Highway.
So easily accessible for
we can drive
roads
the same.
and infrastructure.
We can take your car right now and drive right there. Driving around here, Lakeshore Drive, we can actually drive right by that project. It'd take us about 13 hours to drive there, but we wouldn't need anything other than another tank of gas.
Copy
it's
that.
Easy.
Okay, and quick question. You guys doing some work in Mexico. I'm wondering why you chose that region and what's exciting about it.
Yeah, Riverside actually founded ourselves working in Mexico. The reason is that my father actually was from Mexico and kind of we had a father there. So I had a lot of experience in Mexico. Secondly, I grew up speaking a lot of Spanish, and so we really focused. My PhD was on the mineral deposits of Mexico. And actually I worked a lot for BHP and also for Tech Resources and Rio Tinto doing exploration. We brought a 70,000 location database. I brought that personally to the company when we founded Riverside. So Riverside has an amazing, prior to starting, 15 years of experience with resources in Mexico. And now we've been able to exercise that and develop new projects. This year, we'll have news flow from our Cuarentas project. It's a new project we've put together, and each year we've been able to unlock the value for these projects. The Spinout that we talked about from Capitan Mining of Peñoles is an example. We've had that project a decade, and now it's finally matured to the right point where it can go forward towards the development with the right development team for Riverside shareholders. But we're doing that right now with the next generation of projects out of the Riverside portfolio. So right now in Mexico, we'll have news releases for the work we're doing at the Cuarentas project. We'll have work doing at some of the other things. And we actually have BHP funding our work in Mexico. Yeah, so we're super strong in Mexico.
That's huge. So are you traveling back and forth a lot then?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So after the PDAC, I go home for a day, and then I get on the plane, I fly to Mexico, and we'll host the BHP team that's coming from Australia, coming from Canada, coming from the United States, and from Chile, and from Houston, all of them coming together, and we're going to do a hosted tour of the sites that we've developed for them this year. And it's really fun. So they've asked us to work out a portfolio, and so we've been working out a full portfolio of copper opportunities to try to find the next giant copper mines. Riverside stakes these, we own the rights to these, and BHP funds it. If they complete the funding earn-in, they would earn into an 80% interest, and we would carry 20%. If they don't, we keep the projects 100%. So for zero cost basis, Riverside's able to build out a copper portfolio.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, well, you keep us posted, and besides the subpar airline food, hopefully you rack up those air miles.
No, it's awesome, all good.
The news release that you had that just came out more recently, can you speak on that?
Yeah, you bet. The news release was actually about the updated results that we've had in Ontario. In Ontario, what we've been doing is, over the winter time, been compiling all the data so we can jump into an active field program this spring. And we'll continue to add more projects as we diversify Riverside beyond Mexico. We have good projects in Mexico, but we're very excited as well about Canada and being able to work it locally. I live in Vancouver, we have a team in British Columbia, and we're working a lot in Ontario. So we really see Canada as a great place for us to continue to do exploration and generation.
That's great.
No, it is. There's a lot of companies operating in Canada, a lot of them in Vancouver. Yes. So for us, our office is right on the corner of Pender and Howe, right on the middle of the game, so we can provide projects for that market. We generate projects, and we're able to provide the turnkey technical team. If our team is good enough to operate for the world's largest mining company, if our team is good enough that Kinross will fully fund us, Hochschild will fully fund us, Antofagasta will fully fund us to operate these juniors also, we can actually bring good quality projects and provide a turnkey solution for mineral exploration, for new discoveries.
That's huge.
It's really a good win-win business model. And so the Riverside shareholders get exposed to all of the upside of a portfolio. Sure, we focus on gold. Sure, we're spinning out an asset. Sure, we actually have royalties. But the main thing is that we have this generative database, this generative approach that ongoingly is able to keep going. And we've worked on it for so many years. Myself, I've been working for 30 years in mineral exploration, and we've had great discoveries. Alamos Gold's a place that I worked that's now become a very giant company. Did my PhD there. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, last question. You sort of touched on it, but how did you get into this? I'd love to know.
Well, it was interesting. I really started off in international relations. I really liked people, and then I found it was actually a lot of politics, and I didn't really like all the politics.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that likes reality. I like boots on the ground. I loved the field, loved to hike. So I took a geology class, and it was like duck to water.
Cool.
As we drive around next to this lake here, it was just like that. It was so good. And so I just found that immediately I got straight A's. I actually got a scholarship to Harvard. It just went really well.
Scholarship to Harvard?
It was great,
baby.
And so it was great. And so I've been able to self-fund the work and be able to completely put my passion, and Riverside's about passion, and Riverside's unlocking that passion. So from when I was 15, I said I want to make a difference in Latin America, and now we are. Basically, we speak Spanish, we work in Latin America, we make a difference for the communities. Every community that we work, we interact with them. We put in water systems, we put in all kinds of different help. We work in the community, and we're glad to do that here in Canada too.
That's amazing, you guys. Keep up the good work.
It's a lot of fun. It's really great.
Well, I really appreciate you doing my personal first time hosting the morning drive, and hopefully many more, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Danielle, great. Really enjoyed doing it with you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.